Alright fellas, we're back in our Pokemon Horizons video where we got ourselves episode 100, finally here. We, the Rising Volt Tacklers, or we are the Rising Volt Tacklers, I think that's what it's officially called. Alright, let's just jump into it. This is basically a continuation from the last episode. We know what happened last time is that we knew Karna, Orla came to Karna's Pokeball factory, and that Karna had recently gotten a order in where she had to make like a bunch of things, and it turned out that those things were actually the Lockwium spheres, strong spheres, whatever. It was their like casings that hold them, and then we see members of the Explorers come up, and well, we're about to start facing off with them. So we're going to fight them first and then see what happens afterwards. So they say they'll retrieve the parts manufactured of the, for the strong spheres, and they end up bringing out their Paldean Tauros, both different breeds, the water and fire one, and also use their strong spheres on them. So powered up Paldean Tauros against our quartet here, the 3 Paldean starters and then Sableye here. Says that that's how you're going to be, I'll mega take you on, and so we get the little moment here with all 4 of them together with their Pokemon ready to fight and saying, better not hold me back, you better not rush off on your own, it's a team battle, you know, it's a time for, this is like the first real time we actually see them all having a 4-person fight, with all 4 of them with each other fighting. Usually, obviously, the last few seasons, it's just been the trio fighting, which is cool. Sometimes Friede pops in, sometimes, but for the most part, this is the first time we're really seeing this with all 4 of them here. So, and then we cut out to the intro, and then the episode title, We Are the Rising Volt Tacklers. This is some good stuff, man. This is a great episode. So, we can see the Paldean Tauros here powering up, starting to go for their attack here. They give them a simple instruction to just attack. I love the frame of this, by the way. Look at the blue and the purple and the red and the purple looks so good in this. This is really well animated. So they all go for dodges, they end up dodging all the attacks, and then the Tauros end up curving and trying to go for specific opponents, which are Crocodile and Meowscarada, mostly due to their type weaknesses. So they do end up getting hit by it, pretty direct hit, obviously boosted by the Strong Sphere, not too good, and they do point that out that it is super effective. They both used Raging Bull with a type advantage, but they didn't order any moves. So Dot got to thinking about it, saying it was basically the same with the person who used the Stunfisk, and that it was interesting that they were also, the Stunfisk didn't really get any direct attacks, it just attacked kind of itself. Ult tries to get her to snap out of it and goes for, I think this is Shadow Sneak, Foul Play. I think Foul Play actually is what it is. And then Quaxwell goes for Liquidation. They both go for it, trying to hit the Tauros and end up getting blasted away, I think by a Hyper Voice, I'm pretty sure is what it was, and get knocked back. So they don't really get to do too much in this fight. So Meowscarada goes for Magical Leaf on the Water Breed Tauros, but the Fire Breed jumps in front of it and goes for, I'm guessing like a Flamethrower. I don't know what the exact attack that the things are using is, because they don't really actually tell you. And then Roy tries to get Crocodile to go for a Flame Charge, which wouldn't really do too much to this one, but sure, I mean, whatever, I guess. And then the water one jumps in front of it to try and use its own water attack and hit Crocodile and knocks it back as well. So they don't really get too much distance in this fight, and they're mostly just trying to, at this point, just dodge and try and make up a strategy to where these Tauros can go down, because obviously not doing too good for now. Sableye goes for Power Gem, and Quaxwell goes for Aqua Cutter in order to actually stop the fire attack that is coming from the Fire Tauros to hit Meowscarada. So, good save there. And, well, Ult gets a little bit embarrassed. It's a team battle, whatever. Makes sense. And so Dot does make the point to say that they should fall back for information, and Roy agrees, and they all fall back here to try and make up a plan to kind of attack these Tauros, because clearly nothing that they're doing is really working too well. They've got good defenses, they've got great offenses, and, well, they're, despite being, like, not completely, like, out of control from the Lockwium, but definitely are not like able to completely follow commands extremely well, and they do end up exploiting this weakness a little bit later. So they've got solid power in the defenses, but they're under the effects of Lockwium, and not like before, it seems that they're able to coordinate attacks even without actually having a name of an attack to use. So they tell them to keep attacking, and they go for another Raging Bull, and both Meowscarada and Crocodile go for the dodge on it, and they keep attacking specifically the one of the weakness. They're attacking the same target time and time again without any orders from their trainers, and Ult tells them to stop ignoring them and goes for Confuse Ray on, I think, the Water Breed? Yeah, it goes for on the Water Breed of the Tauros. It was told to not look at the light, but it does end up looking at the light anyway, and ends up going to rush and attack its own ally there, where Meowscarada does dodge it, but obviously the other Tauros does not. So Dot does figure out that they're not listening to their trainer's orders and that the Tauros are fighting mostly on instinct, with the power of Locklium mostly heightening their fighting instincts, and they can no longer really respond to complex orders from their trainers, which is why the Tauros didn't dodge. It's why the Tauros did not listen to the trainer's command when it said to not look into the light. It's why they're not exactly giving their the Tauros specific commands. They're mostly letting the Tauros fight on their own. And so they do end up figuring that out. Says that they were called to attack, but they did not call out any specific move name, and that also happened in the same battle with Sidian and Coral, which I never really noticed in that same fight, but hey, that is interesting to think about. So that it's able to make anyone stronger so easily, and it makes the point, and does pretty much say it directly, it makes the trainer pretty much completely pointless, because you don't really need to give any specific commands. You don't need to say, oh, dodge, oh, move, anything. You can just say literally attack, and the Pokemon's gonna go and do the best move in like this instinct, right? That's why the Tauros have been going for Raging Bull. That's why they've been like reflecting back with, you know, all of their moves and stuff, because they know they're stronger and they've gotten heightened firepower. It's just that now the trainer completely, it just doesn't matter at this point in the fight, which is interesting. So they point out that even when they look coordinated, they were just instinctively targeting the most advantaged opponent, which is why the Water Tauros is going to fight Crocodile and the Fire one is going to fight Meowscarada. Which is fair, and Dot says that they'll use that to gain victory. So they go for another Raging Bull. Orla tells them to watch out, and they both dodge at the last second, swapping their positions to where the Tauros will then leap at each other, effectively trying to go for their specific opponent, and they did hit each other. So then they get Quaxwell to go for Air Cutter, Meowscarada to go for Magical Leaf, Stomping Tantrum with Crocodile, and Power Gem with Sableye, which I do love these frames, by the way. We get the Dot and Liko here, and then the Roy and Ult scene here. It looks pretty cool. I like it, but they all attack the Tauros simultaneously, and they are both down. So pretty smart strategy, just to abuse the fact that they are going to constantly target one specific opponent, and just all you got to do is make it to where the moment that they switch, you know, like the moment that your opponent moves, make it to where they literally just target each other on accident. It's cool. So super effective win, pretty easy. I say pretty easy, but of course pretty strong Tauros, all things considered. It says even with the power of the strong spheres that they lost, they say of course that they lost because they weren't united as one in the feelings between trainer and Pokemon. They're not going to be any good at battling if those are not like synchronized, and even if they use strong spheres, they can never beat them. So this does give Orla a bit of a, I want to say a fire inside to like kind of like keep fighting, keep pursuing, like a little less nudge for her to keep like pursuing what like they really want to. That's kind of like highlighted here with her noticing their behavior and their like constant persistence and their moral goals and stuff like that. So the businessmen ask what they should do. They just return and end up leaving, and they say they're going to report in on the Rising Volt Tacklers here. So yeah, we're going to see a little bit of that later. That's going to be interesting. And then you can see also the little Locklium, the strong sphere casings jar. That's what that was. So they say that Carter says she'll take responsibility for disposing of them, and that even if they did commission a tiny place like theirs to make them, they're probably going to commission a ton of other places in order to have them crafted. So this is not going to stop the strong sphere's launch, and it's probably not even going to affect the launch either. So they probably got tons of factories doing this type of work. It's especially smart to not have their supply outsourced to just one or two locations. If you outsource to a ton of different factories owned by different companies, like, you know, potentially companies like Karnas that are probably not super big or super massive or anything like that, you take out a lot of the risk in making it to where your company, like if something happens at one factory or one like branch of a company, it's very unlikely to affect the rest of your product, considering you have it spread out so much. It's unlikely that so many people will fall back and back out so quick. So it definitely is unlikely that this will actually affect anything related to the strong spheres in their actual debut for the worldwide market. So they say if these things are spread worldwide, it'll be even worse than before, that they have to stop them somehow. Orla interjects, asking to let her help as well, saying that they saw full well how frightening that they are in the battle earlier, and that those things don't help Pokemon or trainers. And she does admit that she has been at a standstill since that they had all lost Friede, which is how most people have been. Even the protagonists for a while were at a standstill. Truly, honestly, only really Roy and maybe Dot were the ones that were actually like still pursuing different things. Like obviously everyone did like their own goal, but Roy really truly went and trained. And the moment that Dot had informed him more of like Locklium stuff popping back up, he also got back in the rift. Liko was still very, stuck in her mentality, I guess might be the best way to put it. Whatever you want to say. Like, you can go back to watch the first few episodes of Mega Voltage, you'll easily notice that. So it was truly Roy and Dot that have been actually like pursuing everything here, and slowly everyone else has come back to it as well. So she does admit she was at a standstill ever since they lost Friede, but she remembers that he would never stand still, and so that gives her the same reason to keep going, keep fighting, probably come back to the Rising Volt Tacklers, right? I've got stuff left to finish and things I ought to do laid out right in front of me, and I want to help out as one of the Rising Volt Tacklers. So this does bring Orla back. It brings her back in the fray. It's beautiful. It's awesome. We gotta love to see it, that she is now back here. So she says, Liko, Roy, Dot, and Alt. When I was watching all of you, that's what I was thinking, and it lit a fire in me. So literally, pretty much exactly what I said. I didn't even remember that line perfectly. I want us to fly together on the brave Olivine once more. It's so cute. I love it. I love the hug. It's so nice. So Liko gives her thanks, and Roy says, "Let's go together." And the Spinel is just happy to finally ride an airship. So it seems that the Rising Volt Tacklers, at least for now, they've got one more member back to them. We've got Orla back and the brave Olivine back, and this will segment into leading Molly and Murdoch back into things as well, right? She says to give her 3 days in order to actually repair the ship, say they are taking off while the ship is in peak condition, which is fair for sure. And so we get this awesome little scene here as well of Metagross extending its arm with Elekid walking on it with her wrench in order to help give it to her, because they know that it's time for her to actually do what she's been wanting to do for probably, well, a year at this point, and get back in the skies. So they know that this, obviously her Pokemon, like Meowscarada does for Liko, every trainer's Pokemon can kind of tell what their trainer is feeling as long as their bond is like strong enough and close enough. So I'm sure Elekid and Metagross have noticed how she's felt and have wanted this to happen for a while, so it's their time to come in and help her out as well, and it's nice to see. I'm gonna knuckle down hard here, and they say that they want to help too, and we get this nice little montage here of them cleaning the ship. We get to see all of Liko and her Pokemon cleaning the ship, Roy getting a bunch of food and supplies, Dot bringing back online all of the ship's systems and its servers, Alt feeding all of the Pokemon here, Roy got all the supplies there, and you can see it all. It's just everyone's doing their part to bring it back, and we love to see Meowscarada here not at all enthused by the water, which is funny. So very, very good stuff to see here. Very good compilation. And we can see Orla here on the phone as well, and Cap back on the captain's seat. And then just like that, pretty much 3 days have passed. So 3 days have passed. The ship is done. It is time for us to set out again. All 4 of them there. Well, 5, right? All 5 of them there. And very, very, very good to see that the Brave Olivine's back in peak condition. It's been a while. Like, how many episodes are in Mega Voltage so far? I actually want to I'm going to go pull that up real quick. Yeah, we can see here it's been pretty much 10 episodes. I mean, ever since obviously about 2 months ago, March 21st, man, that was 3 months ago that they ended the final season of the Rayquaza Rising arc. So it's been a minute, man. It's been a minute since we've seen this ship for the most part. The ship systems are in order, everything's ready to go, and that they're ready to leave. And so Orla just gives them a little bit of a halt before they actually set off, basically, saying that they've got some good news. And well, Murdoch and Molly have actually shown up, so they had given Orla a call, or had received a call from Orla, whichever, and are actually here now, ready to set off again aboard the Brave Olivine, bringing back the Rising Volt Tacklers and their Pokemon as well. Say, but why? Well, you see, after I saw you again, it sort of rekindled my spirit of adventure, or should I say, I just couldn't bear sitting still. So it's been the same story for most of them, is that after everything happened, they've mostly just been sitting still or like trying to move on, but pretty much their spirit still calls to go on those adventures, right? So it makes sense that they're obviously still going to be here. They're not satisfied with how they were before, and well, we're back, basically. So this is the call that Orla had actually gotten earlier. Sorry to call you, but the airship, could you? And then we see Murdoch's face just light up, basically. So those kids, and well, you get the insinuation, of course, that they're obviously able to convince her, and that she told them that the airship's being worked on and that they're going to go back to the skies. And it's really beautiful to see that. And so Molly ended up also getting a call from Orla here saying that the ship was back. And I don't know where, and well, yeah. Murdoch's also talking here, so it goes between both of their stories here, saying, sorry to drop this on you all of a sudden, says, come now, I'm fully in favor, you know. So you had Katie, as we had seen in that 2 episodes ago now, had always wanted Murdoch to like go back to the ship and like rekindle his stuff a little bit. She's obviously noticed that his spirit, he's a great chef, a great person, all of this, right? It's amazing stuff, but he's truly not content with himself the way that he is, and she's obviously been noticing that. So she's always wanted him to do this. Treasure the way that you feel in this moment and stay true to that. And he says that he'll finish the new cake recipe for sure, and pay a visit to Cortando whenever he does. I believe it's Cortando, yeah. And so Molly, this goes back to Molly talking to her mother, saying that she's got the chance to fly, and that she wants to travel the world and use her own means in order to help troubled Pokemon. Her feelings on that have not changed one bit. And, well, her mother just says, you were never comfortable settling down, and, well, she actually gets pretty much approval on that. Murdoch thanks Katie for her help, and Molly thanks her mother for her support, and, well, here they are. They're back. That's how we ended up getting back together. Last time aboard of the ship, I was practically running away from home, but this time I've got my family's approval. So we did remember that Molly had pretty much forsaken her role as effectively a Nurse Joy in order to actually do this, but this time she had actually gotten her permission. And they do say that they would have liked to tell Ludlow if they could have, but he doesn't have a smartphone. I also want to point out, look at Lycanroc. It's not fat. It's not fat anymore. I wonder if that's got like if there's any insinuations there that like Lycanroc is also ready to go on its own adventure or anything like that, or if it's literally just an error. But it looks like it. It looks like Lycanroc got back in shape effectively, which is funny. Said he doesn't have his own smartphones, and they hope to see him again. And well, he's just here. Homie's just been here. There's Quagsire chilling there off the side of the ship. I'm pretty sure he's got a fishing pole, even though he's just chilling. I don't remember, though. It says it's been quite some time, has it not? How did you get here? This is originally my ship, you know. The waves told me it was eager to set sail. He may have just, like, full sprinted here the moment, like, he felt a disturbance in the force, says Mighty G. That's my only guess. Which makes sense. It's also revealed he's got the Tatsugiri with him, so that's very cool to see. They say, wow, right on brand. So it says, I can't believe you found all of us. It says you got it the wrong way. You're the ones who gathered us here. And this time, it's our turn to ask if we can join your Rising Bolt Tacklers. So truly, the protagonists themselves did bring this upon themselves. It's like they kind of reformed it all themselves. So now they're not the ones being recruited to the Rising Bolt Tacklers. They're effectively the ones doing the recruiting at this point. The Neo Rising Bolt Tacklers, I guess we can say. So, flashbacks to Liko saying that the step that she took led to meeting her irreplaceable friends once again. And, well, obviously, they agree. I mean, duh. I don't think we really need to go too much in on that. It's just a sweet moment, and we love to see it. It says, we're counting on you just like before. All it says, he's made up his mind. He'll do the honor of joining the Rising Bolt Tacklers. And obviously, you know, fun little gag, fun little bit. Molly doesn't even know who the hell he is. It says, once I catch the Black Rayquaza, I'll have to fly around on top of its back, and getting used to flying is not a bad idea. He's obviously a confident guy. Makes sense. It says, my almighty self along, you got nothing to fear. And Sableye loves to munch Terapagos. We'll be get the little bit there. So that's for position. How about captain? And well, they all just kind of give the funny little face. And obviously Pikachu is the captain. The ship's captain is Captain Pikachu. And Alt just is more surprised by that. Bow down to Captain Pikachu, huh? They all just say it's good to have a new merry face. And well, now we're back aboard the ship. Lycanroc, you don't get fat again, buddy. Come on. Or if you do, let's have some fun with it. Give that fat Lycanroc rollout, please. It'd be so funny. All right, I'm gonna fill up everyone's bellies with tasty treats like before. They say that they do feel comfortable. Sorry about all the idle time. I'll be counting on you again. We're back at it. We're back in full swing, basically. Even we got the old crew back. We got ourselves the old Pokemon back. Our old jobs. It's great to see it. It's time to fly. If fate would have it, even those 1,000 leagues apart shall meet again. So Dot does say that she got the app for the Rising Bolt Tacklers back up and running, which is the app that they've been using. We've seen them use it multiple times, so it's honestly cool to see them bringing that back as well. Obviously, Dot having developed it and having it back online. This can give us a lot of extra information as well. You know, extra communication stuff, extra like reasons to look into different like sightings of Pokemon and stuff. It's gonna be pretty cool to see that. And it says, what's this? A voice message. It was sent to the app's address, but the sender's unknown and it's encrypted. I think I'm about to have it cracked, though. Molly thinks it's fishy, and Murdoch asked when it received, and it was received about a month ago, and that they got it to open. Friede here. Yes! Okay. I'm not sure what people think about this in this reveal, but I think this is actually perfect. it's been a while. Pokemon's not one to like stay sitting on its like ideas for too long, but this is confirmation that Friede is alive, Friede is good, and I think this is perfectly handled. The only bit of Friede we get is this voice message, and we do not get to see what he looks like. We do not get to see where he is. We do not get to see really much of any context of how he's. Okay, well, we do of how he's doing, but like we don't get a lot, and I think that is perfect. This gives them plenty of time to still build up the idea that Friede is, if we know Friede's alive, we do not know where he is. This just confirms that to us, and they can still take all the time that they want in order to actually like give us that perfect reveal of like when Friede is gonna actually come back into the scene, like in person or like in a video, something like that. And I'm so all for it. I'm so good. Friede here, and then we see Captain Pikachu's ears perk up. Everyone just giving the fucking dead face and just screaming what? And then we get the mid-card section here for the actual episode. So everyone just starts completely freaking out. Murdoch's eyes are the sweat, like the bubble particles going off of Dot's head is so funny to see, because then you can see Murdoch there on the back with with his eye. It's covering it. It looks like he's just got one eye, which is funny. Anyway, so they all just completely freak out here, saying, "Hold it, I can't hear the message." And we get to hear Cap's cry there. Say, "Sorry, let's play it again from the start." And also, cool thing about this is that you can see Dot kind of has her old look back here. Potentially unintentional. I'm not sure. I have no real idea on it, but I love the look of this, that it actually just brought back Dot's old hairstyle on accident. So we can see her pull back her hair then again like she had it before. And so we hear the full message. "Friede here. I've got Charizard here with me. My bad for not keeping in touch. Some explorers have been keeping an eye on me. There will be trouble if my movements get discovered, so I couldn't send you a message until I was out of their reach. Everything I'm doing is to solve the mysteries of Lockliam. So with that said, look after yourselves until I get back, everybody." I mean, basically everything I've thought about has been true, except for the fact that I thought he was going to have the Black Rayquaza, which I think would have been way better. I honestly think it would have been way better if Friede had got the Black Rayquaza instead of having it be in the temple. Maybe we can see a flashback where he did have Rayquaza briefly and used it, but then it went off to go recover in the temple. Who knows? I'm not sure, but I do love this, that it basically confirms Friede has been in hiding from the explorers, saying that he's being tracked by the explorers. This gives me the idea of him saying everything he's doing is to solve the mysteries of Lockliam, and that everyone look after themselves. But he's saying that he couldn't send a message until he was out of their reach, and that the explorers have been keeping an eye on him. This gives me the idea that he might be working for Exceed or for the explorers, kind of against his will. And he was not obviously able to send any messages just because he was obviously under their surveillance. He was in their lab, stuff like that. He couldn't send anything out, or else they would obviously be suspicious. They would know, and well, nothing good would come out of that, right? Makes sense. But I think that this is insinuating that he is actually working under them, mostly to do research on it. That is my theory. My leading theory now is that he is actually posing as an Exceed researcher in order to actually research into Lockliam and ways to stop it and ways to get insider intel. So I'm very curious to see where that leads. And so we get this awesome scene where everyone is just completely flabbergasted, asking, "That was really him, wasn't it?" Yeah, no doubt about it. And we see Murdoch here saying he's alive. Murdoch and Molly saying no clue what he's been up to though, and they could have just told at least told where he is. And we get this beautiful scene here with Orla saying he really never stands still and just bawling her eyes out. It's so beautiful. It's so nice. I mean, again, Orla is probably one of the closest people to Friede, if not like the closest aside from like his Charizard or maybe Captain Pikachu, right? Like legitimately such close friends, and this reaction is just completely warranted, completely beautiful to see. So it is good to see, and they all just give a slight smile because, well, now they know this. And Bloodloop obviously saying what we are pretty much wanting to see here. Let us take comfort in knowing he is safe. Friede is back. Friede is good, and we've got a lot to think about now with him being back, but not a lot to think about at the same time. They got us where they want us, and I'm glad to see that. It's so good. If you ask me, this is such a Friede thing to do, and at any rate, Friede will be coming back someday. To celebrate our reunion and Friede's safety, we're throwing a party today. We're ready to take off anytime. Let's make it a sky-high party, and with that settled, let's get straight to meal prep. I bet you can't wait, Crocolar. And thanks to us coming together again, we got to receive a message from Friede. And well, yeah, that is a pretty awesome thing to bring up, saying that it was because of them coming back that they had actually received that message. Because if the servers never came back online, Dot had to be on the Brave Olivine in order for those servers to actually come back up. And of course, being on the Brave Olivine would mean that, you know, Orla would have to have been here. Everyone else kind of just comes along together as well in that big bundle. They would have had to have come together for that to happen in order for them to actually receive that message. So this was pretty much fated to happen, or else they would have never known how Friede was doing. So it is not only good for themselves to like get back into the motions that they wanted to, you know, to like at least honor Friede to become part of the Rising Volt Tacklers again, but it was also good because this means that they know now how Friede is doing. They would have never known this otherwise, and it's really amazing. And we can see Meowscarada here saying, we can see Liko saying this is the best. I love this Meowscarada face, by the way. It's so funny. So Karna says, that took ages. I always knew a day like this would come, though. And Orla, thanks for what she has done. And not to mention it, that I enjoyed having you and that she enjoyed being there as well. So Karna had always knew that Orla would have to do this at some point. I mean, she had made it pretty well known, pretty clear that Orla has to kind of take to the skies again at some point, because she kind of was just sticking in the mud for a while. So she had to go back, at least at some point. She said that she needed the time, though, and she ends up giving her this golden, cool design Pokeball. So I kind of want that one. Says, I thought I'd try and make one, too. I like the slight blush. It's cute. It's nowhere near as good as yours, though. And she says that it's great. It's got passion and particularities, and most of all, it fits you to a T. It's a one-of-a-kind Pokeball, and that she'll cherish it. So Yuri Brigade, go strong, I guess. But we see, I like the little Magby and Ella kid here too as well. It's so funny. And so they just laugh it off a little bit. And we get ourselves the scene of the Brave Olivine finally taking off here. Get some lyrics into the intro song. I forget which one it actually was. Was this the first opening? I don't remember. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It says that the flag is really cool, and they say, why don't we do that like old times? No real implication of what that is, though. It says, what do you mean by that? A proof of our bond, and just follow our lead. It says, Murdoch says, okay, Liko, take it away. And so we get ourselves the little Rising Volt Tacklers salute here with their hands on the inside, and then then we get Liko saying, we are the Rising Volt Tacklers, raising their hands up to the sky, saying, yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. Rising Volt Tacklers are back. Only one missing is second in command, I guess. I don't know. We're actually, we do want to talk about that a little bit later, but we got ourselves the Rising Volt Tacklers back. Ult as a member of the Rising Volt Tacklers as well. And Friede being alive. This is a great episode. Overall, great episode. Episode 100, man. They knew what they were doing with this. And well, of course, gotta ruin the moment. Cut to Spinel here, sitting in his office. Talking to the two lackeys of the explorers here that he was talking with, or that had ended up fighting the quartet, trio, whatever you want to call them. And he says that everyone meets with failure on occasion. Please remain ever devoted to your mission for the sake of the explorers. And of course, you know, he's a lying, manipulative piece of shit, but you know, that is what it is. They've assembled, have they? If only they could have behaved themselves. He compliments Umbreon on its fur, which, by the way, I do think this is a little bit more powerful in Japanese due to Umbreon's name being Blackie. I just feel like the sentence here feels a lot more malicious than what it probably will be in English, just because Spinel's such a piece of shit. It's bad. Your fur is as beautiful as ever, Blackie. It just comes off a little bit better. Just a little thing I kind of noticed there. It says, unsightly flying nuisances will simply be swatted once more. Shoot our boys out of the sky. Oh man, you gotta hate Spinel, but he's such a good villain. Like, truthfully, I mostly play. Like, when I say I hate Spinel or whatever, I hate him in the traditional sense that like you would hate a villain, but I love him as a character. He's a really good character. I really do like him a lot. So, and that is our to be continued. So we get the complete reforming of the Rising Volt Tacklers. Friede confirmed to be alive and confirmed to be like at least, you know, being pursued by the, being pursued by the explorers, if not, you know, working under them as like a basically insider agent. And then Spinel getting that complete confirmation that the Rising Volt Tacklers are back, and well, him making his little cunning plans there. It's time for the Mega Evolution special here with Mega Charizard Y. So we do get to see that. Very cool. So it's pretty strong, pretty fast. Going faster than a damn plane. Wow. Okay. So poor Nito thing. Goodbye. Next episode, the brave Olivine sets sail and says, all right, from today on, I'll leave the helm to you, Roy. And saying they look so dependable. This feels just like old times. And we get to see all the Paldean characters as well. We get to see Altier with Dendra, which is funny. So where are we going? And we get to see Penny, Dot, Nimona here. Nimona has a Rabambi, which does she have I actually don't remember if she actually has a Rabambi in the games or not. Hold on, I actually need to look that up. Does she? Okay, so she does have a Rabambi. I've never fought anyone in the League Room or Ace Academy tournament. Oh, okay, I've done the Ace Academy tournament once, but I did not face Nimona in it. And I did not know she actually swapped out for Rabambi. I didn't even know she has a Decidueye and Friede. Oh, she had multiple starters. Damn. Wow. Okay, well, I guess this confirms her starter is Quaquaval. Maybe we already knew that. I have no idea. I honestly don't know. Anyway, regardless. Yeah, we get to see Nimona's Rabambi here against Roy's Crocolore and Terastallized Palma versus Mega Shiny Lucario. And the next episode, I mean, you know, to play off of that, fight Terastallization versus Mega Evolution. And we got the ship in the background, boys. We got the ship in the background. It's back. It's back, boys. So episode 101 is going to be probably a concept a lot of the fans are very enjoying of Terastallization versus Mega Evolution. That's pretty cool. So we're going to go back to the Paldean Academy for whatever reason that is. We don't really know yet, but maybe we'll get some information on that, whatever, who's to say. But yeah, Terastallization versus Mega Evolution. Great to see. Cool to see. We're hyped. We are so hyped. We are so unbelievably hyped. Anyway, yeah, that is episode 100. Amazing episode. Fucking fantastic. So much cool stuff here. This is, I'm sure there's some underlying themes here, but it was just a great emotional episode overall. We saw amazing moments like between characters, like Orla crying, Orla hugging Liko. We got to see Friede coming back. We got to see all these like different interactions. We got to see Spinel again and how like what his plan is going to be after everything. It's so we got so much buildup coming from this episode and so much that happened itself. The reformation of the Rising Volt Tacklers, it's so good. So that's episode 100. We are the Rising Volt Tacklers. Let me know what you all think about it down in the comments below. Tune in next week for the episode of Fight Terastallization versus Mega Evolution, episode 101. Mega Voltage is so good so far. So good. Yeah, I'll see you later. I hope you all enjoyed. Peace.